When it comes to the dynamic warm-up for runners, it's very important and essential to make sure you're adding some kind of plyometric, jumping, landing, and propulsion-like movements as that stepping stone between your flexibility, your dynamic movements, and your running. That's always one area I see this big disconnect. I ask people on a regular basis, are you including a dynamic warm-up? Yes, I am. Okay, what are you doing? I'm doing leg swings, I'm doing walking lunges. Okay. Those are great, but then if we look at the actual sport and the action of running, we have this repetitive jump, land cycle that unless we're teaching the body how to really withstand and adapt to those forces, there's a big disconnect between dynamic warm-ups and the activity itself. So teaching yourself how to bridge the gap and progressively increasing the demand on the body from a jumping and landing standpoint is very important when you transition to running. Okay, so what I want to walk you through today are 4 very simple exercises as a progression. So when I say progression, each exercise you're actually going to work on for about 3 to 4 weeks before moving on to the next one. So we have 4 exercises. It could take you 12 to 16 weeks till you get to that exercise as part of your dynamic work, but that's okay. Okay, we want to take some time for the tissue to adapt and to respond to what we're teaching it, so it's more resilient. We're not just jumping from phase 1 all the way to phase 4 and then hoping, again, you're successful once you get out there and run. First thing we're going to work on is the landing aspect of running, so the shock absorption. But we always want to start on 2 feet. Again, obviously a little different than running because running is a very single leg dominant sport, but we want to teach the tissue how to adapt to the demands we place upon it. So first thing I'm going to do is just a regular vertical jump and stick. Again, I'm very landing focused here. I'm not focusing on jumping so high up in the air. I'm focusing on as I come down. It's a very soft, quiet landing as I'm absorbing the forces throughout the tissue. So as I come up on this jump, nice soft sit back into the hips, keep the knees out, and we always want to stay in a nice aligned position. I'm just going to go through about 5 to 10 jumps, okay? After you master that, you can land nice and soft. It's a very smooth transition as you absorb through the soft tissues. You're not really pounding throughout the joints. We're going to go to a single leg vertical jump and stick. So a little more challenging. Now we're working on stability in addition to that shock absorption. So picking a leg, same thing, 5 to 10 jumps. Soft, quiet landing. Hold that for a second at the end. Make sure you're giving yourself some time to stabilize, to correct if you need to alter your position, because we always want alignment of that leg. Soft and quiet. Again, you'll notice if you're landing too hard as you come down on this and you're pounding into the floor, you'll notice that. So try to really listen of how much noise you're making. There we go. Okay, so that really clears up the landing, the shock absorption aspect of running. Now what we want to do in our phase 3 is to progress to more of a repetitive jumping and landing motions. Now we're looking for elasticity, getting off the ground as quickly as possible, and really creating some tension, because now we know how to land and absorb forces. Now can we create forces, control, and then get off the ground quickly? So first I'm going to do is more of a squat jump. Okay, so from here, okay, still landing under control, but trying to transition quickly into that jump. Okay, a lot of elasticity, quads, glutes, calves. Okay, next up, after that, single leg vertical jump. So probably the most challenging of these plyometrics that we're going to go through today. Now, can we do the same thing, but on a single leg, get off the ground as quickly as possible? Okay, same thing, 5 to 10 jumps. We do not need a lot of them, especially if we're progressing through phase 1 through phase 4. Okay, and then we start to add several of these plyometrics together, doing 1, 2, or 3 of them. We do not need to do a lot of jumps, maybe 5 to 10 reps. Okay, but what we're doing, teaching our body how to absorb, withstand the forces, and be in a good position, and then teach elasticity, how to get off the ground, how to create power, which will then turn and translate over to better running economy, better efficiency, as your muscles really absorb energy and then can create energy more readily, rather than you have to focus on being so forceful throughout your running. Just as a wrap up, to really put everything together for you in a nice package that you have good clarity moving forward. We walk through 4 very simple plyometric drills that are the stepping stone, again, after your dynamic warm-up. Again, it's still part of your dynamic warm-up, after your mobility, any activation, but right before you transition into your running, okay? We're trying to teach the body how to really absorb forces and create power, again, depending on what phase you're at. So what I want you to do is start with that vertical jump and stick. Again, jumping, landing on 2 legs. Work on that for 3 to 4 weeks. That's the only exercise you're adding in between your warm-up and your run, okay? At about week 3 or week 4, once you really master that, you perfect it, it's very simple for you. Again, I want it to be simple first. Don't jump ahead too quickly. Then I want you to go to the single leg vertical jump and stick. And when I say go to the single leg jump and stick, you're still going to do the vertical leg one, the double leg one. You're gonna work on about 5 to 10 reps on 2 legs, warming up the tissue. Then you're going to go to the single leg one. So you're going to do both of those exercises before you transition into your running, okay? Another 3 to 4 weeks, you've mastered both of those. Those are easy, you're stable, you're controlled on one leg with a single leg one. Then from there, let's add on top of that just about 5 to 10 of the repetitive squat jumps. Again, it's very quick. Now we have 3 exercises in that progression, okay? And then from there, once we really master that, 3 to 4 weeks later, again, it could be anywhere from 12 to 16 weeks from when you started adding these plyometric drills into your dynamic warm-up, we're gonna go to the single leg one, okay? So at that point, now we have 4 exercises. Now you really have to be a little more mindful. How much do I need before my running? Do I need all 4 of these exercises? Are there 1 to 2 or maybe 3 of them that are, I feel like these are the best ones that prepare me for running? At that point, you're gonna be a little more specific. We don't wanna add this huge, lengthy dynamic warm-up that's really gonna tax the body before you get out there, okay? We wanna be very selective. Which ones really help prepare, fine-tune the body for running, and we're gonna be very selective as we pick those 1 to 3 drills before running. So that's it. Work on those, add those drills before your warm-up. I think you'll notice, before you're running, I think you'll notice those will really prep and prime the body for that next step. As we add more impact into the body with running, now our body is actually ready. We've warmed up in a way that has taught it how to withstand the demands of the impact we're going to place upon it. And then you can go out there, run, enjoy, and have a great day.